Okay, so yesterday you saw us construct this skid. Today we're going to show you how we set the equipment on there, stage it, and then mount it to the skid we assembled yesterday. So let's get started. All right, Steph, you want to come help and bring the guys over? So as we talked about yesterday, we're going to put the soft wash Stallion. We're going to put it up here, and we pre-drilled these holes. But when we did this and we started staging things, I want to give you an idea of what we went through. So if you bring the camera in here, Brooke, you'll see that we position this reel between these two items so that the frame of this doesn't come inside between the outside braces of this hose reel. And the other thing we want to pay attention to is when you're going to reel, is places where your hand might hit. So we're good here. We're outside the frame there. We've got those marked and drilled. We're going to start putting those there, locking that in place. And then on the soft wash system, this is on the driver's side. Hose reels on the curb side will be over there for hoses we want to pull up toward the house or anything else that you're cleaning. Curbside, because that's where you're going to be working most of the time, and the hoses will be over there. So our main hose is over there. Our water supply hose is going to go right here. We go around the other side. Now, same thing with this hose here, that hose reel that Alan is putting on. Now these are hand crank hose reels. These are Han A's, and the other one here is our deluxe brand stainless steel hose reel. It is got a stainless steel core. The frame is all stainless steel, so it's resistant to any plastic and stuff that's on it. So it's resistant to bleach. So it'll hold up longer. So we stage that here. Same thing on this. One of the things we want to watch over here with two hose reels close together is that you've got good hand room. We're not hitting anything on the back side when we crank again. So if you want to come over here, Brooke, I'll do it in my left hand so people can see. These are things you think about. To make sure that when you're working, you're out in the field, you don't have problems. We're going to start mounting those. And then over here on this side, we want to put on curbside again the soft wash for the soft wash system, our sidewinder mix station. It's going to go up here. We haven't positioned it yet, but it'll be in this general range. Stephanie, what are your thoughts? So we're just using a C clamp right now to block the kind of clamp where we want it to go.
Right. We won't drill until we put the tanks in, and then we get it right. So
yeah.
Right now, this is just an idea where it's going to go. The tanks will be in, then we'll set it perfectly.
Yep. We'll position it once we get the tanks in. So I'm going to just set this down here. I'm doing that. Now the other thing we play around with is deciding how the tanks will position back here, how they'll set up inside the frame itself. We've got our larger tank. This one being, is this 50 or 55? It's a 55? Okay. Now, some of you are going to want larger tanks on this skid. And before I do that, bring me that cross brace. So there's a couple things we did yesterday that may not have really paid a lot of attention to. And that is bring the camera down here. See, we have these side supports right here. Those are basically to hold everything inside the frame so it doesn't slide out, especially when you got tanks on. And then we take this cross member, and the cross member sits on top of these, goes from side to side. And that's what we put at the front. And then we'll take this and put it on the back side of these tanks to hold them in place so they don't slide around. You can strap them and do other things with these cross members and do a lot of other cool stuff to basically hold tanks and equipment in place if you want to do that. So it gives us a lot of options on this frame. And then there was a couple ways we looked at doing this. Let me see, that's right. There's one we could come in here and put them sideways. like that. So we played around with that a little bit. And then these tanks have these
Mounting
holes on the back where you can screw them, bolt them in place. So what we're gonna do is they fit in here very snug. They actually fit in here perfectly. So it's actually going to go ahead like this on both sides instead of sideways. Balance. And a little bit. Beautiful. There we go. And then we're going to take this back strap there. This just a flat stock of metal. Come around here, you can see where Steph's putting it in. There you go. And we'll just bolt that piece on there all the way across. And then both of those surfactant tanks or soap tanks, however you want to use them, they're not going to flop back and forth because this tank will hold it in place. And we're going to put the other brace. Let's see the other brace. I handed it off over there. Not that one out.
That one, right behind it.
The cross one. There we go. So now that's going to go in here. I'm going to come in there with the camera brush. There, now you can see how it's going across there. Okay. Good?
Good.
You know how to adjust it?
I'm learning, guys.
You're learning?
Mike, will you unlock it, please? Sorry, it's locked in there.
Okay.
I'm the worst
I can bring it
millennial.
back up. There we go.
Thank you.
There we go.
So, Mike,
Okay.
what is the weight of this skid dry?
With nothing in it, we could pick it up with two guys if it didn't have anything in it. Then you just add the weight with everything else. I have not weighed it yet in the truck on and off. Hey, Stephen, the last skid we built, do you remember what the skid weight was? Because I thought we weighed the truck and then we put it in and went and weighed the truck. You don't remember? No. Okay. I'm going to say it's probably, around 2,000 pounds. I could be way off. Because the hot water unit is going to weigh about 300. You got hose reels and everything else that adds up. It probably is right around 2,000 pounds once it's completely done. But I wouldn't say it was much over that. Your water weight is going to be one of your biggest things that affects it. Now then, we could put a bigger water tank on here if your truck is heavy enough to handle the bigger water weight, or you build up the leaf springs and add shocks and things like that to do it. A lot of guys do that. They build up the truck because they'll get 3/4 tons or half tons. You just got to keep in mind that your braking system may not handle all the extra weight that's in there. So be careful when you put a lot of extra weight inside these lighter built trucks, especially a half ton. Not a big fan of running half ton trucks. You want at least a 3/4 ton or better when you're doing this kind of stuff. So we got everything in place.
Yep.
All right, good. We're doing good on time. Okay, now the other thing I want to show you is that somebody asked me yesterday about designing this. Well, this is left over from our first design. So we're going to use this to put different size, or you could put different size surface cleaners up here. So let's just slide in there, and then we'll customize it. So surface cleaners slide in there like that. Mark the holes and drill those. We'll have that ready for the next shot. Show them how that works.
If you got a 18 or 20, you could have different holes
Yeah.
coming down, move it.
Obviously you can adjust this for whatever size surface cleaner you got. It'll work. How's it doing on the, good? Awesome. That's Miguel. Miguel's back here. Miguel usually does a lot of our camera work, but since we're using this new software, We had to upgrade today to get the better quality, so we're getting better quality now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, let me go check these.
Yeah, it's supposed to get us better quality now. So I hope it does. I hope the video's better quality. So we had 720 yesterday. Let's hope we got 1080 today.
How much time you got, Mike?
Oh, we're doing good. We got, we're only 10 minutes in.
Okay.
We got 20 minutes.
Joe,
Go ahead.
you ready?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so this is gonna be our water tank. This is gonna be the Hudson float valve. Here's our bung. We're gonna drill a hole. We're gonna put a Hudson float valve here. And this is gonna be the water for your P40. Now your P40 has to pull from the top. You can't pull from the bottom. So we're actually gonna have two holes on the top of this. This is gonna have a standpipe. It's gonna go all the way to the bottom. Gonna come up and it's gonna be hooked into the P40. So the P40 has its own water, right? And then the hot water machine pulls from the bottom. And a lot of guys hook up that P40 and the P machines. It doesn't suck from the bottom. It has to suck from the top. But the regulator that's in here needs that equal pressure. So this is gonna hit that. Then again, we pull the surfactants and the bleach from the top also. So everything that's coming through here is all pulled from the top, so it has the same pressure coming up. So we'll drill this one and put this bung here, and it'll have a standpipe. And this one will be in the other one, a standpipe. Then we'll have glad hands, quick connects that'll come across. So if we want to wash it out, we'll just unclip it, stick it in water, suck water through everything. So everything here is going to have quick connects on them. All this plumbing that goes around here. And tomorrow this will all be ready. This will all be drilled out. I don't want to bore you guys with drilling holes.
Let's be careful, not quick connects, it'll be cam fittings.
Cam fittings, yes,
Yeah,
cam fittings.
yeah.
All the way around. But like
Corrosion resistant plastic ones, just like everything else.
everything
Yeah.
else. But again, we're gonna have standpipes in all three of our tanks. So it's all gonna pull from the bottom up to the top and across to give the equal pressure and everything goes. So when you set the sidewinder, that makes difference on where you pull and how much everything's set. So, you know, guys talk about the sidewinder and what's exact setting and stuff like this. You really can't be exact because depending on the amount of hose you have in your trailer, each sidewinder will have a little bit different setting because if you got 10 feet of hose or 20 feet of hose, 30 feet of hose, you might need a little bit more pressure. So people say, oh, what's the exact setting? We can't give you exact. As you build your trailer, you learn it, you mark it, then you move forward. And that's how we do it. It's trial and error when it comes to the settings.
Yep. And you're saying pressure, but you mean draw.
Draw pressure, yes, draw
Yeah.
pressure.
It's just how much draw you got to pull based on, and the levels of the tanks will affect that too. Even. So where is that sidewinder? I had it here. a
Right
while
here.
ago. There we go. Okay, so this isn't the new one. Where's the one that's supposed to go in here? This is for a Maverick. This isn't for the Stallion. All right, because I want to point something out. There's a difference. So these, if you'll see, a lot of people are selling these now, including us. But these are all half-inch fittings.
That's a Stallion.
Oh, these are 3/4.
These
These are what's
are
that?
half inch.
These are half-inch. That's right.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is for a Maverick
This
electric.
is for the Maverick. Now, the Stallion, and I've seen someone do this actually, is they run a double hose through here, but you still have a restriction inside this because it's only half-inch. They'll starve the Stallion for water. That's the new P40 pump from Comet. It needs a lot of water. Even the 36s need a lot of water. And you can't just like double hose this to get more flow through it because it's not going to get more flow through it. You have to have a bigger valve. That's why we have the bigger valve on here for the Stallion, so it will draw the correct amount of water. Otherwise, you end up starving that system and you won't get the output on the other end. We've tested it. And like I said, I've seen some people double hose this. That's not going to work either because it's still going through the same valve. Doesn't make a difference. Bigger hose, whatever, still goes through the same valve. You got to get the flow through it. So that's what we're going to do. This is the one that goes on. I thought the valves looked different. Pointing the wrong direction when I held it up there. So we're going to play with this a little bit. You got the piece there, Stefan? All right,
This is gonna go here. That's gonna be off to the side.
like that. Okay. Like that is about right. I want to bring it down some. Sure.
You watch your hands. What are you doing? Measuring twice, cutting once, guys.
I'll be right there. Yeah. Right there where you want it. Got it?
Yep, I got it.
All right. Where's the C-clamp? All right. All right. Now what's the next thing you want to put on here, Steph? Why don't you guys tighten up these bolts that go in the back of the tanks here? Get those tightened up. And then, did we mark this yet?
No, we haven't marked this yet. We need,
Okay, let's get a tape measure on it.
Mark,
So
come
get
over
these
here.
marked, so we're ready to drill these holes. And just leave enough, yeah, there you go. You want a little bit of play. You don't want it to be super tight. Measure it on that end and then match it on this end. And then mark those.
Hey, Mike, is there an agitated system for the surfactant takes?
We don't need an agitation system in here because usually when you're agitating is when you're batch mixing with the with that Comet pump, because it bypasses back into the batch mix. We're not bypassing back into the batch mix now because we have the mix station. One of the nice things about having the mix station, you don't have to batch anymore. So the bypass off of this Stallion goes back into the water tank because we're not drawing surfactant in at that point to mess it up. Hopefully that makes sense. Actually, I said that wrong. The bypass just goes back around in circulation. It doesn't go back into any holding tank. So we're pulling fresh water and fresh surfactant, and then the bypass has a longer hose on it and it loops, so it doesn't get real hot when it's in the bypass mode. So we don't have a need to agitate anymore. And you don't have, so there's no need for agitation. Hopefully that answers the question. And you'll see that tomorrow because we're gonna put all the hoses on this stuff outside everyone's view. You're not gonna watch us load the hose reels and run all the plumbing. We'll finish that before we do the test run tomorrow afternoon. And actually might line up some of that and hook it up real quick before we go live. But basically, what's left now, once all this is mounted, is to run the plumbing and the hoses, hook up to the hose reels, the water tanks, and get all that done. So I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time with that. And then we're gonna be good to go. Did I have it turned the wrong way?
ready to drill these? You mark them?
Both of these are marked?
They're marked yet? Hold on.
Yeah, it's marked.
Oh, it's marked? You gotta hold it.
Drill. Okay, we want to mark where we're going to do the bung holes too.
Mark, yeah.
Do those top bungs. What are you having such a hard time for? I like it when the young guys have more trouble than I do. Makes me feel good. And you notice he's stepping on that shelf like it's nothing. It's super strong. It's a nice thing about this, these shelves and the way we constructed this thing is very durable. Because I had, yeah, so here's the cam fittings we were talking about earlier that are going to go on the hoses and stuff. Just open them up, put them in there. And like, whoops. You lock them down. Banjo, plastic can fittings. They work really good. Corrosion resistant. Hold up. Pretty common thing within the soft wash energy when you're dealing with bleach, sodium hypochlorite. So we'll get that. More questions?
John, that is fresh wash that used to be in the background. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Got
Actually, got all kinds of surfactants and stuff back there. We got fresh lemon scent fresh wash. We got apple blossom. We got Sappet, rust remover plus, more Sappet, more apple blossom. We've got aluminum brightener. There's some gutter butter, some V501, actually V501 Vinehood cleaner. And then below that is Green Beast, which is a little stronger than 501, a little bit different mix. and then some more fresh wash, rust remover, sap it, fresh wash again, all that stuff. There's actually some more aluminum brighter over there. Then we have classic brown up top. Trying to see what else we got. Yeah, fresh wash. Ton of chemicals. We sell a lot for everybody in the industry. Right. Okay, so I think unless anybody's got questions, no questions?
No
All right.
question.
I was gonna say, okay, so in the comments below, so what we're gonna do, we had several questions yesterday about purchasing this equipment and whatnot, especially the base skid. So let me go over that real quick, because I think that's important to know. So the base skid itself, that's the first thing you've gotta have. You gotta have a base skid. And you can get the base skid either, I wish you would just lock the camera.
I'm sorry, I'm not good at
You're
this.
not a good millennial.
I'm not.
So the base skid is you can get that alone. So just the plate by itself. Then if you want to go up from there, you got to have the ladder rack. So the ladder rack is the next thing that you add. Once you have a ladder rack, then you can add a tool shelf on one side or a tool shelf on both sides. We call them tool shelves. You can mount equipment to it. And actually, as thick as this plate is, you pretty much could actually put your equipment right on it. But because we have everything in kits, we just mount right onto it. It's super thick. Mark, what do you think? Couldn't you just mount a piece of equipment right onto that? It's 1/4-inch aluminum. Yeah, shouldn't have a problem at all. You can mount a motor and stuff right on there if you wanted to, but we're not going to do that because we modularize everything. So that is basic setup there. And then, of course, we talked about the ladder rack. Okay. Oh, so the ladder rack itself comes with 2 of these side supports and then 2 cross members. That's how the kit comes on the ladder rack. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 uprights. You get 8 braces that are on it. You get 2 ladder rack structures that are on top, 2 side support and 2 cross members. That's the ladder rack. And then the 2 shelves on each side come from there. Did we get that all bolted down back there? Yeah. Let's show everybody how that went. So these braces go across, and they hold these tanks in place, and they'll sit right there. And then we have that other cross member. Let me show you. I showed you earlier, but I'm going to show you again. So there's that cross member. And it's going to set right up against the tank there. So that'll hold it in place. And it'll be good. There's some comments there. Any comments that?
Timothy, I will make sure somebody calls you.
How do I rotate it?
Okay, right here. So you hold it and then bring it up. Okay. And then let go and it'll hold in place, just like that. So you're the cameraman. Yeah, now we got a good cameraman. Brooke just gave me a face. I'm in trouble. Then she says, all right, let's see him do marketing, right? Okay. All right. We're getting these holes drilled.
Chuck says to leave me alone.
Yeah, Chuck's right. We can't have any fun. Yeah, but they don't know how much she picks on me when no one's around. All right, so we got that drilled. What else we got? Don't have much. We just need to mount that and then run the hoses. So that'll go pretty quick because we're going to custom cut all the hoses tomorrow. We'll drop the pipes in. Where's the pipe? Where's the piping stock? Yeah, grab me some piping stock so we can see what we're doing there. I'll talk about that real quick because it's important when the tubes and stuff are dropped inside the tanks that we there's some little tricks that we do. We'll show them to you. He's bringing it over here.
Do you guys have any kind of SH booster or enhancer?
Oh yeah, fresh wash, sap it. All of our surfactants are great for that. Fresh wash, we have sap it, we have apple blossom, and
Do not use my test pipe.
your test pipe. Okay, we'll use it. Okay, so one of the things we do that when we mount these and put them inside a tank is we cut a little angle on it. That way it goes all the way to the bottom. If it does hit the bottom, no big deal. because it's angled. But if you leave it flat and it goes right against the bottom, then you create problems because the surface can cut off the flow and not get the right flow. But if it's angled across here, you don't have that issue. Now, the only downside to that is if you're always going to have a little bit left in the tank because it'll start to draw air once it gets here. I mean, you could do it like this to get it close, but I think we always angle them. Yeah, it's the best way to do it. Any other comments there, Steph, that you might think of, Mark?
You guys do this yourself, make sure you vacuum the tanks out. All that little debris that you think doesn't mean anything will go into your pump and clog it up. So you saw us drill this, but before we do anything, we will get the chop back, we'll drop it down, we'll clean this tank out, and we'll put it together. Okay, that's a lot of little stuff that'll really plug up your valves, your filter, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you're seeing us do this and put this together, but this is just a little for show. But before we start this up, we're going to vacuum this whole tank out. Everything's going to get cleaned out, and we're not going to run it through the machines till after we run water through everything, okay? It's real important that you clean that out.
That's probably one of the biggest things that will stop up your valves and cause your pump from not working correctly, or even clog up your nozzle if it makes all the way to the nozzle. We'll stop it up too.
And then what comes in handy is somebody with a little hand. As you can see, mine's not going to fit in there, but thank God we got Mark here. Smaller tank, the smaller guy I need. Oh, you wanted me to pull it down. You guys heard me? See that little hand get in there? Yep. Steph's hand is not going to fit in that hole.
That looks like it's coming along nicely.
Yep.
If we're getting
Again, so this will get the stamp. This will get the water hose. That would go to that one over there. Right, that reel.
Yeah, this is the water hose. So this is the fresh water supply line. So it'll go to this tank, and then the side grinder is going to draw from this tank with one of the valves, and then we'll have one of the valves to draw that'll go to this one, and then we'll have another one that draws off of the SH over there.
And then your pump will come here.
Yeah, and the pump will come here. I've been saying that both of these tanks were surfactant tanks. That was a misstatement on my part.
One's SH.
One's SH, one's surfactant, and one's fresh water. So I was saying that incorrectly. I just realized I've been saying that all along. So that's how that'll work. Now, theoretically, you could put some smaller surfactant tanks on there because that's a really big surfactant tank, 20 gallons. You could go down to like a 7-gallon. That would probably last you all day because surfactant goes a long ways. We could even put a bigger tank in here and do that. That's what I'm saying. This whole tank design can be changed up considerably and do that, especially when you got an 8-foot skid. Then you get a lot of equipment on here and do a lot of customization and put a lot of stuff in the back of the truck. So again, this is a 6-foot one. A lot of people run 6-foot truck beds. They seem to be very popular. It's kind of harder to find the 8-foot ones anymore. So we're running down to 2 minutes. If you got a question, post it real quick. I'll answer it. Otherwise, we're going to be running out of time.
You got bolted down there?
Yeah.
Come see that. It's right in there. You can get 4 of them in there. Again, you want to carry pure SH inside there. Or anything extra to fill those side bottles. And you can stand right on those fenders without a problem and fill these tanks. You can climb right over this thing. There's nothing weak about this. I can climb up here and bounce up and down and it's fine. And I have.
And then we had the question yesterday about if I designed this. So my first design is sitting over there, and once we started building it and got the metal, it's still sitting over there because it was too lightweight. I was trying to keep costs down, and when I saw the weight and how flimsy it was, like there's no way, scrap it, I'm done. So somewhere we got to take it back to the scrapyard and get it out of here so we can get a little money back on the investment of the metal. So anyway, so that's where we are. And so tomorrow, part 3. And to part 3 tomorrow, we will have
Everything plumbed up.
everything plumbed up or close to it. We might connect a few things here, but I think we'll just go ahead and run it. Everyone knows what we're doing. So I don't want to waste your time with that. We'll plumb it up, throw it in the back of the truck, take it out, and then test it. So you should see how everything runs. Yes.
Plastic tanks have an expiration date on them. Do you know the time frame for expiration?
I would not know because it depends on how long they're going to be in the sun. I ran a tank very similar to that. It's a 500-gallon tank, and I had it on my trailer for, golly, like 15 years before it ever cracked or anything. So they last a long time. I do agree that they're gonna expire, they're gonna dry out. and they're gonna begin to crack at some point. And it may happen a little faster with the SH inside it, because it may dry that plastic, but, I haven't heard a lot of people say that, so I can't really comment on how long it would take. I just believe it's gonna last. It's not a cost that I would be concerned about that much stuff. And keep in mind, when you have SH in a tank like this, you want to be able to see it, but at the same time, you want it when you're not using it, you want to cover that SH tank, because the sun depletes it breaks the SH down faster, sodium hypochlorite. So you want to cover it from the sun when you're not in use, so that it'll last longer, or like over the weekend, or if you're going to be the truck's going to be parked for several days, cover it with something that blocks the UV rays, so it'll just last longer that way. Just a side note. Any more questions?
No?
All right, there we go. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Take care.